Today in history. It is April 9th already, and our journey to the past is just about to begin.
That's right, but first, I have a quiz question for our listeners. Here it is. When a movie is in 3D, it is, number one, three-dimensional, or number two, three times delicious.
I think they're both right.
Right. All right, so the question one more time. When a movie is in 3D, it means it is, number one, three-dimensional, or number two, three times delicious. If you know the answer, please put it on our Bundy board, or you can text it in on your cell phone, pounder sharp 1045 for 51 to win a Lock and Lock Eco Mug Cup.
Okay, so we're going to briefly discuss three items about what happened today in history, and here's the list.
Today in history. In 1860, the oldest known recording of an audible human voice was made. In 1953, Warner Brothers introduced 3D motion pictures, and in 1967, the first Boeing 737 made its maiden flight.
So today's journey to the past begins with a truly remarkable achievement, as always, and that is the recording of the first human voice.
Interesting, right? It was made by Frenchman Edouard Leon Scott de Martinville on this day in 1960, and this feat was made possible thanks to a phonautograph, the earliest known device for recording sound.
Of course, the quality of the sound is nothing compared to the recordings of this day, but it was a remarkable moment for the music and communication industries in that people never thought that a recorded sound could actually be replayed again and again.
That's right. It was literally when we learn how to immortalize sounds, right? Something we have to think about every time we play and listen to a song.
That's right. Okay, and we had that moment regarding sounds. We also had a similar moment in 1953 when the first 3D movie was premiered by Warner Brothers, really back in 1953.
Interesting, right? The movie was titled House of Wax, and it was the first 3D motion picture in color to be produced.
We're showing the poster of the movie House of Wax on Maiden Radio right there, so please check it out yourself. However, 3D technology existed from way before, which is even more surprising. Well, in fact, another movie titled The Power of Love preceded the House of Wax.
Interesting. Surprising, isn't it? It goes way back to 1953 and even before that. Well, nevertheless, House of Wax was the first 3D feature with stereophonic sound. House of Wax, that is according to the Guinness World Book of Records, or Book of World Records. Yeah.
So the 1952 to 1954 period is being dubbed the golden era of 3D movies. So it's not these days, but way back in the 1950s. Falling back in terms of popularity in the following decades. However, the creation of IMAX theaters have made it possible for 3D movies to resurge in the mainstream.
Sure, and the easiest example of that, I think, is Avatar, right? By James Cameron. That was a James Cameron film. That was an unprecedented success in movie history, as it was not only the most successful 3D movie, but also the highest grossing movie of all time.
That's right. And movie like Avatar paved the road to what is now known as 4D.
Right. Have you ever seen a movie in 4D?
I think I have in Disneyland, like some years ago.
Yeah, it's where the chair moves and it spits out smells and sprays you with water and things like that.
Maybe we're talking about the same production.
Yeah.
The I Shrunk My Kids.
No, I saw The Avengers in 4D.
Avengers in 4D?
Yep.
Avengers? Really? Where?
In Seoul. In Seoul. I won't tell you which theater I saw. But anyway, you can see those in 4D almost everywhere now.
That must have been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
All right, but anyway, what that movie actually is basically combining 3D technology with physical experience, like Steve just mentioned.
That's right. Well, 4D movies, that's one experience, but nothing compares to the real experience, and that's true when it comes to flying.
Flying. And it was on this day that Boeing 737 made its maiden voyage, which is 천여비행.
Right. The Boeing 737 is the best-selling jet airliner in the history of aviation, with more than 7,000 units delivered to date. But to put it in perspective, there are 1,250 Boeing 737s airborne at any given time on average. So if you look up in the sky all around the world, there's on average 1,250 737s flying overhead.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
With 2 departing or landing somewhere every 5 seconds as of 2006.
Ubiquitous, really. 정말 어딜 가나 있는 737기, 보잉 737기. 그렇군요.
I always find that fascinating. You know, when you're on an airplane and you're coming in for a landing or you're making your approach, it feels like you're the only plane in the sky. But in fact, there's a lineup of planes behind you, right?
Yes.
It's almost like parking at a hypermarket, isn't it? Yeah.
네, 자 우리가 말씀하신 것처럼 하늘에는 나밖에 내가 탄 비행기밖에 안 떠 있는 것이 아닌가라는 생각을 하기 참 쉬운데 말씀하신 것처럼 사실 굉장히 많은 비행기들이 서로 각각
Yep.
다른 항로를 통해서 지금 또 운항을 하고 있군요.
And it always impresses me how the air traffic controllers are able to coordinate all of the planes into one single file line to land.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for today in history. A lot of events we shared with you today, but before we finish it up, we have to give you the quiz question answer. The question was, when a movie is in 3D, it means it is... Number 1, 3-dimensional. All right. Well, when we come back from this break, it's Matthew's time for Matthew's Kitchen, and it's smoothie day here on the program. If you can get to Boeing Radio, now would be the time to do it, right? So you can enjoy those with us. Here's a tune from Ray Charles, Unchain My Heart.